So there it is.
Yep.
The absolute ripper. Straight down the middle. 195 yards carry and 235 yards total. So, Dan's back, and we're working on part of his game that you probably won't believe off that first shot, that he actually struggles with. Now, what's the comment that you kind of were making before about the quality of the shots?
That, as soon as the camera's recording, I hit a
You're
good shot.
So he just needs the
First shot's
cameras on him all the time.
Yeah.
He is a show-off. Right, but sample size of 1. So we don't necessarily guarantee they're all like that. And I think you guys watching probably agree, you know, you hit some worldies like that.
Yeah.
But which way does your bad one tend to go?
To the right, every time.
Out to the right. So I'm sure lots of you guys out there can relate to that. So let's just hit a couple more and let's see if somehow you've fixed it, miracle, or let's see if the bad one does occur. So there it is, on call, curving out to the right. Still great carry at 211 and total at 229, but definitely would be in trouble. So I think, definitely relate off those two swings. One great one, one destructive one potentially. Terrible. Now, without looking at TrackMan, what would you say felt different about those two golf swings?
Probably not a lot. The way, maybe I just tried to hit it more aggressively. Maybe
Which one?
I wanted to, the second one, tried to hit it more aggressively.
So having hit a good one.
Yeah, the first one didn't feel like I got great contact, which it didn't.
Yep.
The second one felt like it was good contact.
Yep. But we're punished
it was a
from
very,
the
very
contact.
Standard shot for me.
Yeah.
Feels great, sounds great, everyone goes, whoa, and then looks where it goes. And it's...
Right, so for me, this is very often what golfers do. They're not really sure, so they kind of end up trying lots of things in the swing, and they happen to hit a good one, but they never really get to the root of the problem. So let's look at what actually happened on those two swings and help you understand what was different between the two.
Okay.
Right, so the first one, we can see the strike was a little bit out the toe, and the face to path is showing as 5.3 degrees open.
Yeah.
But the curve on the face, if that had been near the middle, the club face would have actually been pretty close to 0, which would be dead straight. But we could see club speed at 94 mile an hour, low point behind, hitting up, path a little out to in, but that's very much because of the angle of attack. But club face would have been pretty good on that one. We move on to the second swing, and even though speed, low point, path, and distances were similar, we see the strikes very near the middle, but the club face was 7 degrees open or pointing to the right. So the only difference in those two swings was how you delivered the club face at impact.
Yeah.
Now, I think like most golfers, you probably in your head, whether we say try and hit it straight or hope to hit it straight. So we set up nicely at address, and we just presume that because we're there at address, we're going to get back there at impact. Comment below if you hope to hit straight ones. But I just don't see golfers that naturally return the club face very straight. So what you see with the majority of golfers is they set up there, but return the club face much more that way. Very occasionally, you get driver of the ball who gets the club face a little closed. But you're definitely like the majority, a bit more that way.
Yep.
So what I want you to feel is as you're swinging into impact, I want you to feel like you're going to get the club face to close earlier or more to impact.
Right.
And don't be afraid initially of overdoing it.
Okay.
Because I think if you're working through the video with me and you hold the club in front, straight, show me an open club face, show me a closed club face. Now, generally, every golfer I see has got amazing control of the club at 0 mile an hour. Obviously, it's a bit more challenging at 90 odd and 100 mile an hour, but if you're not working on that, you're predominantly not going to get better at it. Right, so let's get you in. I want you to have a couple of practice swings feeling like you'd be getting that club face to close. And I'm not going to tell you how I would feel it. Okay. I'm just interested what you would feel to do it.
Well, I remember like a couple of months ago now, we did that. I had it in my head was the baseball. Felt like you were swinging a baseball bat. And naturally would roll over, but it always felt a bit wristy. It felt like, yes, I would probably overdo it.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Right. Just practice swings, is it?
Yep.
Right. It's like I'm going to drop the club. It's going to fly out my hand.
And does that feel different from what you would normally do?
It feels massively exaggerated.
Okay,
It's
good.
like the ball would go to the left.
Okay.
Massively, not even straight.
Yep, so the good news is, if you overdo it, it might go left and it might even go low and not be a great shot to begin with. But we need to be willing to at least try and exaggerate to find what might work. So, set yourself up.
Fell off it.
Solid.
Yeah. Yeah. Bit low.
So we could see, as you suspected, kind of came out low, didn't really do what we wanted it to do. Now, you have to give yourself a few shots though.
Yeah.
And this is what's hard about taking this directly to the golf club. You know, going out on the course, you kind of go, well, I kind of know what that does so I can live with it. I can't live with that one. When you're practicing, you have to be willing to over-exaggerate to be able to dial back to find what you need.
That's it.
So let's go one more. Again, feeling maybe just not quite as exaggerated on this one. And let's
If I
see.
hit a shot like that on the course, I wouldn't be hitting a driver again.
Yeah.
I'd be having probably a 5-iron out. So I'm over-exaggerating again.
Yeah. And there we go. We see out the middle.
Yeah.
We see it curving from right to left. Club face was 2.4 degrees closed. 198 carry and nearly 250 total. So even though that felt exaggerated, it was only 2.5 degrees, which is minute amount.
Yeah.
But it is nearly 10 degrees different from how your bad one was.
Yeah.
Which is a big change. Now, fortunately, it's only taken you kind of one bad one and then the good one. But you made the comment, if you're on the golf course and you did the first bad one, driver's back in the bag. The tough thing is, we can't get better with a club by not using it. Sometimes, when the movement's different, you struggle with strike for a few shots. And that's where if you can get to the driving range or the practice ground and hit some shots, you've got to give yourself a few shots to learn.
Yeah.
You know, but be willing to commit to the process, and the better you get at working on the right thing, the more you'll improve. So that, we would absolutely take that to begin with. So,
It was miles better than the second shot.
just very different.
It's just so centred.
Yep. Now, you're not going to hit it out the middle every time.
Well, I have a tendency to hit the toe, so does that suggest that I should, I don't know. Is that anything to do with it, or?
It could be that you stood too far away, but again, your tendency is to hit the toe.
Yeah.
But the last one, you've just flushed out the middle.
Yeah.
So why would we try and change something based on something you haven't just
know.
done? I know why, because historically. But get yourself set, put another good swing on it.
Oh.
So it wasn't a great strike. And you were right, that's towards the toe. But you can see club head speed was good. Now, face is reading at 3.6 open. But you're actually an inch out the toe there. So that would have actually been 1.5 degrees closed. And then we see good carry at 206 and good total at 245. Right, so we're definitely moving differently and definitely getting a different feel through impact. Now, obviously, your brain predominantly knows how to put the middle of the club on it when the club face is wide open.
Yeah.
So as you're closing it, potentially the toes get in there a bit earlier. But again, don't worry. Hit lots of good shots. If your bad one's a mishit that's 250 yards down the fairway,
I'll
then,
take that.
well, then we love that conversation.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you'll be high handicapper if you're hitting it 250 down the middle. And if you are, there's definitely other bits of the game that would need to improve. So let's have one more really good one.
And am I still exaggerating it, or am I just...
No, just feel a little dialed back now, but still have to be enough that you feel you're doing it. And there it is. Again, a little bit out the toe.
Yeah.
But not quite shaping back. So club face is saying 8.1 degrees open. Now, that would have been very, very slightly open, but nowhere near the 7 degrees. And we can see there, hitting up, good speed, 215 carry, and again, over 240 in play. So, I know I've mentioned a couple of times there about TrackMan's readings. So when you lift your driver up, you'll notice that the face is curved. So because TrackMan sits behind the ball, and you might not care about this, it doesn't see exactly where the location is, but the way it calculates that is that out the middle, that would read as 0, if that's pointing straight. Because of the curve, an inch out the toe would read as 5.2 open, an inch out the heel, 5.2 close. So as long as you understand strike with that, we can then help you understand, actually you've made a decent movement, but the strike's making the reading look maybe not what you would expect. But for me there, 3 swings, slightly different feel through impact. Slightly different maybe versions or how exaggerated, but the beauty with those is all 3 in play. Good distance, and we all have that love-hate, don't we, with driver?
Yeah.
When it's good,
Big time.
love it. When it's bad, it's one of them.
Yeah.
Dan would never do that, obviously. But as long as you work on the right stuff, you get better. And for me, majority of golfers, it's club face. You know, most golfers are like that at impact, but they're working on speed, length of backswing, swing path, hoping that that's going to be better. It might be, but then it's not through working on it, it's through good luck. If you get better at controlling where that is, and it is a skill, and if you don't work on the skill, you won't get better at it. But, honestly, Dan, like most golfers, if you can work on getting that feel for the club face, I think you would rather feel you had a game where you missed a few left than hit the big slice.
Consistently right.
Because at least you're doing it, you're just not dialed in.
Yes.
And if you can control driver better, you're going to influence the ball better, hit it longer and straighter. And I think we'll all agree that one of the best parts of golf is hitting driver long and straight.